I'm going to end this conversation. I'll talk to someone who's a bit more receptive.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a little
You're-
bit rude. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't condescend to you. I tried not to, and if I did, I apologize.
Well, I find it quite disturbing how you philosophize out of a very simple issue that these animals are being exploited for you. It's a very simple issue.
Well, I'm sorry that
So
you feel
you'll
that way.
continue to disrespect
Be
animals.
rude.
You don't need to disrespect animals.
Yeah, okay, but I wasn't disrespecting you, and you did that to me intentionally.
Goodbye.
No, but I know that you're going to bring up donkeys, horses, cows, pigs, chickens, dogs, cats.
Yeah, exactly. What defines a slave? What makes someone a slave?
Something else against their will. But you could argue, do animals even have will?
Well,
They have the cognitive ability to have will.
do they want to be slaves? Do they want to be free? Do you think?
Well, do they have a concept of what that is? I guess that doesn't really matter.
Here's my question to you. Can other animals be slaves? Is it just humans?
That's difficult because human slavery, I think, is worse than animal slavery.
Okay.
So to compare them both as equal sounds a little bit disingenuous, but I do understand that they both have in common that they're both doing something without their consent.
What about pigs, cows, and chickens in slaughterhouses and farms?
Are you vegan?
Yes, I am.
Thought so.
What do you think about that? Do you think those animals are slaves? They're bred into existence, are kept in captivity, and then slaughtered when they're only like a few months old.
True. The go-to argument is that, well, humans need meat to survive, and we used to hunt and kill animals, and there was nothing really wrong with that from the ethical perspective. But then also, now that we have the means to not have to eat meat, is it still necessary? I would still say yes, because I know people that have gone vegan and then had to go back because they weren't getting sufficient vitamins. And then you can also go from the angle of, well, vegan food is, well, you could argue, is it as good for you as the traditional, and it's still harmful to the environment, but just in a different way?
Okay. Well, I want to know where you stand on this issue. Do you agree we should be respecting other animals?
Yes.
But do you feel we can truly respect other animals if we're exploiting them for their flesh, breast milk, eggs, skin, honey, or for any other reason?
See, I do have a vegan friend, and we've had these conversations. I just agree that he is doing a better job of being a friend to the planet than I am.
Well, I'll make it a simple question. So if I were to be exploiting you for your flesh, would that be respectful?
No.
So why not for the other animals? It's also not respectful to exploit them for their flesh or anything else.
True. Again, I would go back to what I originally said, is that, would you say that you're being immoral when you kill a fly? Where do you draw the line in terms of what you deem acceptable treatment of other animals?
So why do you feel it's okay to murder a fly or a pig or a cow or a chicken or any other animal when you don't need to?
Yes.
You haven't. These are two questions you haven't answered. You first haven't answered. Can you respect someone while exploiting them? And then you're not answering this one.
You cannot respect someone while exploiting them.
Okay. So you agree it's a contradiction to say you respect someone while also using them? Yeah.
Yes, I'll concede. I'll concede that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you know what the original definition of veganism is?
To not consume any products that involves the flesh or produce of an animal?
So that's partly true of the part of the practice of being a vegan, but actually the original definition, defined in the 1950s, is the ethical principle that humans should live without exploiting other animals. So that means viewing other animals as individuals rather than as resources, commodities, that they have a right to life, to freedom, to bodily autonomy, to respect. And therefore, practices naturally flow from that, such as what you say, you don't consume animal products. You don't view them as animal products. You see it as flesh or breast milk, right? They're not for you. And also, you don't wear cow skin or you don't wear wool, go to the zoo. So you just reject all forms of animal exploitation. It's just not an option for you anymore. So what do you feel about that principle that humans should live without exploiting other animals?
I think that's something that we should ultimately strive for as a society. However, everything that both of us are wearing right now has come from direct human exploitation.
But most of those humans had a choice. These pigs, cows, and chickens and fish had zero choice. They have zero choice. They're born into slavery and they're slaughtered. They have no freedom, no choice.
Yeah, but
That's a direct relation with those products, right? Flesh, breast milk, eggs. You know that those animals were bred into existence and then slaughtered. They had no choice. With what you're saying about our clothing, you're just making a guess that the humans were exploited by it. But I'm saying for a fact that with animal-based produce, that there's exploitation. So what do you think about that principle, though, the vegan principle?
I think it's utopian and unrealistic, but
Why is it unrealistic?
because of the world we live in. No, I mean, we won't go into like capitalism and all that, but it is that, like, the system that we are in, the system that we're all in, whether or not you live in a communist society or a capitalist society, uses human capital to produce products that we buy. And I know for a fact that children are being exploited to make our devices, the camera, the phone, the microphone. Like, these lithium-ion batteries don't just come out of thin air. They come from, like, countries corrupt their children.
So what this is seeming to me is I've presented a solution to an issue, and you have just said, what about lithium batteries? What about clothing? Instead of actually talking about the issue, we're now talking about something else because we don't want to address what I've brought up.
Okay.
So what do you think is the biggest advantage of being a vegan?
The sense of moral superiority and getting to video people in the street.
I'm not doing this for a sense of moral superiority or for just filming people on the street.
No?
No. I'm not doing it for those reasons. Do you want to know what the biggest advantage is of being a vegan?
Yes, I want to hear your interpretation. Yes.
Okay. So for the animals, for the pigs in the gas chambers or the cows in the slaughterhouse, they will no longer be exploited because of you. And for yourself, when you say you respect other animals, you'll no longer be a hypocrite.
If you had it your way, would these animals that are bred for food, would they just not exist then? Because they are bred into existence, like you said, to be exploited. So if you had it your way, would these animals no longer exist, since that is their only purpose in our society? Not, like, morally. Obviously, these animals...
Well, they're not real animals. They've been selectively bred to produce more flesh than they naturally do, or lay more eggs than they naturally do.
They are animals, though.
Yeah, but we've bred them into production machines. Yeah, so would you rather a life of exploitation, or would you rather not exist? These animals, right? The more and more vegans that exist, the fewer of these animals will be bred into existence. And the few that remain will be in sanctuaries and will be looked after.
True. But again, I believe that people still need to eat meat.
Are you open to being wrong about that?
If you give me some some actual scientific papers, then...
So the World Health Organization, peer-reviewed science, and the American Dietetic Association, and the British Dietetic Association all say you can be healthy on a plant-based diet. You can get all your essential nutrients. I'm telling that to you. So what do you feel is stopping you from respecting animals and being a vegan?
Convenience, if I'm completely honest. Also, as we are right now, vegan food is more expensive. It just is.
Fruits, veg, bread, chickpeas, lentils, bread.
Per kilogram.
Whole foods.
Whole foods, definitely, come on.
You can eat cheaply on a whole food plant-based diet. Processed food can be expensive on a vegan diet or a non-vegan diet. But are you convinced on the why? Do you see why someone should be vegan, like yourself? That you're no longer a hypocrite?
Yes, but I also know that I'm not going to turn around and become vegan tomorrow. But I can acknowledge my own shortcomings and still not overconsume animal products.
So I want you to understand the urgency of this situation for the animals, right? Because we're here just having a chat and we're kind of free, right? Just having a chat. But these animals are enslaved. They have nowhere to go and they're going to be murdered. So if you were in their position, if you were a pig, cow or chicken, how fast would you need this injustice to end?
That is a loaded question.
So put yourself in a pig's head, right? You're a pig about to go into a gas chamber. Yeah. How fast do you want to be free?
But I don't know that I'm about to go into a gas chamber because I'm a pig. Like, I don't...
You know you're going to be... something bad is going to happen, right? You feel the fear.
Well, I don't know because...
You don't know?
Because you
see your fellow pigs...
That's all I've known. And when the pigs go to be slaughtered, I don't see that.
So
I don't know what's happening.
Pigs are sentient.
Humans know.
Other animals aren't dumb. We humans are not the only species on planet who know that we're going to die. Why? That's very human supremacist of you to think that we are the only animals that have any sense of intelligence about our impending doom.
But we are the only humans who can think and act on the future.
But if you were a pig, wouldn't you prefer to be free? Or do you want to be enslaved and slaughtered?
If I was a pig, I wouldn't have a concept of freedom or slavery.
Wow. I can't believe you don't understand this very simple question. You're philosophizing out of a very simple question. So I'm going to ask you one more question for you. No, for these animals, it's not a debate. For these animals, it's very black and white. You are enslaving them for no reason, no justifiable reason.
I am enslaving them.
Yes. Actually. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, from now, how many animals should be enslaved for you? Should it be 0 or more than 0?
I see where this is going.
Do you want to be the reason they're exploited to death, or do you not?
No. When you put very emotional language like that, then no.
But it is as simple as that. As simple as that. When you purchase flesh, breast milk, eggs, honey, all of these animal products, you are perpetuating exploitation of animals.
I was going to ask you, you don't eat honey either.
No.
No.
What right do we have to steal another animal's honey?
Yes. But these bees could go anywhere, but they choose to stay in our hives, knowing that we're going to take a bit of their honey, and then they stay there anyway. Like, these bees could make their own hive somewhere.
What right do we have to steal another animal's honey?
But we're not stealing it.
We're not stealing it? No. We're taking it from them.
No, but the bees, they know that we take it, and then they stay there anyway. Read a paper about how bees behave in hives. It's true. It is true, I promise. I really
So
promise.
bees want humans to steal their honey.
It's not stealing, it's an exchange.
Yeah, the oppressor can say that.
Did you steal that jacket? No, you exchanged it for money.
Okay, thanks for talking to me. I'm going to end this conversation.
All right.
I'll talk to someone who's a bit more receptive.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's a little
You're-
bit rude. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't condescend to you. I tried not to, and if I did, I apologize.
Well, I find it quite disturbing how you philosophize out of a very simple issue, that these animals are being exploited for you. It's a very simple issue.
Well, I'm sorry that
So
you feel
you'll
that way.
continue to disrespect
Be
animals.
rude.
You don't need to disrespect animals.
Yeah, okay, but I wasn't disrespecting you, and you did that to me intentionally.
Goodbye.